Bastion starts right off with the narrator jumping right into things, going ahead and kind of giving you the overall feel of the game. The way the storytelling in this game works is you have the narrator Rux, who is also a character that you meet in the game, goes ahead and kind of elaborates on everything that's going on in the game. He goes ahead and gives you some details on situations, where you are, stuff like that, but he goes ahead and also comments on little things that you're doing. For example, at the beginning of the game, when you go ahead and get your first weapon, if you go ahead and start smashing things up, which of course I did, he goes ahead and says, "Kid just rages for a while." And he says it in a very cool, old school cowboy kind of voice, which really gives him a lot of credibility. He sounds like one of those guys who's got a lot of stories to tell, you know, the guy on the porch. And that's exactly how this game is told, just like that, like your grandfather is telling you this on, you know, Saturday morning or something. And the storytelling is one of the major draws to this game. This is something I've never seen done in a game, let alone done very well.
Kid just rages for a while.
As well done as that is, the combat in this game is equally as good. It seems pretty basic with your melee, ranged, shield, special attack combination stuff here, which seems pretty standard fare, but you do have to go ahead and use them wisely. There are a lot of enemies in the game which are obviously geared towards, you know, you using ranged or melee or so on against them. However, unlike most games, this game will actually throw all of them at you at the same time. Meaning you might have 3 guys over here you have to use your shield against, you have 3 guys over there that you have to melee, and 3 of them over here that you have to use ranged on. And you have to figure out how to be very good at using all of these things. For example, with the shield, if you time it right, you go ahead and get a counter, and then the attack goes back at the enemy and damages them. This is something that takes a little practice, as all the enemies are completely different. It's not like you figure it out on one, you're good for all. To help you out with this, the game offers challenges where you go ahead and practice these skills. You'll go ahead and win prizes, such as weapon upgrades, money, and sometimes even new super special attacks, which are really cool and really helpful. Although this really isn't an RPG per se, it's more of a hack and slash game that tells you a story on the fly, but there are RPG aspects. You do get to give your character passive abilities, which do buff them up, you know, extra health, better criticals, stuff like that. Same thing with your weapons. You can add more ammo, do more damage, cripple enemies, damage over time, stuff like that. So there are definitely perks to going ahead and getting all of these items and upgrading your equipment. It does make the game easier. However, you can go to a shrine in the game and pray to one of the gods in the game, and each god adds a different level of difficulty to this game. So, for example, if you go to one of the gods, maybe the enemies will have plus 10% damage, or will attack you more, be more aggressive, stuff like that. And that's really helpful after you already beat the game. With a game like Bastion, I can't really cover graphics. It's more the presentation of the game. The game itself seems pretty familiar if you look at a screenshot. It's going to look like something that you've played before. However, when you actually get in there, the experience is completely different. The first thing that you notice that's really cool about this game is the way that the world builds around you as you continue going forward. So when you're moving on, it'll look like there's no bridge in front of you, but then it builds right from up beneath you. That's an awesome effect, and I've never really seen that done before. To top it off, this game has a really great mix of music. It's a different style that I've never really seen before. It's kind of like old Western meets your standard digital game music. And sometimes you have the Western theme, sometimes you have digital game, and sometimes they mix them together. And that's something I didn't think would really work, or never really thought about it, to be honest. But they do work very well together. And some of the songs in here are so good and so catchy, you will not be able to get them out of your head. One of them in particular, it'll go with you all day, I promise. And if you play this game, you'll know exactly what song it is I'm talking about. Overall, this game looks great, it sounds great, has tons of unique aspects to it. The game's Plus mode adds a whole new level because after you beat the game, you can go ahead and play the game over again, keeping all your previous experience. And the unbelievable storytelling design in this game really makes this game something special. This is something I've never seen before. This is something I've never played before. And for $15, the price of admission just to try this game out, there's nobody I can't recommend this game to, especially with 8 to 10 hours of gameplay. Supergiant really hit a home run with this game, and I strongly recommend you check it out. For the detailed written review, please click the link in the description or go to www.gamersarmada.com.